and welcome once again. My name is Uchemefo. Um, this is another segment on which we will look at the Nigeria's violation of the Biafra Instrument of Surrender, which is, of course, from our own point of view, uh, is a betrayal of trust and a justification for the Biafrans, especially Igbo Biafrans, to continue for agitate for equitable and justiciable share of our common patrimony. And in the words of late General Effiong, the Biafra's number two citizen in 1970 during the handover, or rather, through the surrender, conditional surrender of the Biafran armed forces. He had this to say: "We accept the existing administrative and political structure of the Federation of Nigeria." He went further to say that any further constitutional arrangement will be worked out by the representatives of the Nigerian people, and that the Republic of Biafra at the time hereby ceased to exist. And these pronouncements were made on condition outlined or stated in this statement that the Biafrans at the time of surrendering was doing that on the condition that the 12-state structure will continue to exist, and that any future political or constitutional arrangement will be negotiated by the representatives of the people of Nigeria. But as you can see, subsequently, and just like Gowon did to the Arborea Code, they reneged on this agreement. And today, here we are. A lot of things have happened. In addition to the genocide of the Biafra uh, humanitarian crisis, successive government of Nigeria has continued to single out the Igbo Biafra population for total decimation, for total extermination and dehumanization. So in 1970, let us go down the memory lane. The Nigerian Civil War, which culminated in the surrender of Biafra at the time, marked the end of a brutal conflict and the beginning of a contentious period of constitutional and administrative restructuring in Nigeria. That was what it was in the minds of Biafrans. But did that restructuring of Nigeria actually happen in the positive direction? The answer is emphatic and resounding no. So a critical clause inserted by the Biafran Chief Justice, late Sir Louis Mbanefo at the time, was at the heart of the surrender agreement. And that was actually clause C of the instrument of surrender, which explicitly stated that while the Biafrans accepted the existing constitutional, or rather administrative and political structures comprising 12 states, that any future changes to the constitutional arrangement of Nigeria would necessitate deliberation and agreement by the representatives of the Nigerian people. And this content was extrapolated from Maazi Chido Ofodile's seminal book in 2016. I think it was launched in 2016, not 2017. So this provision was a safeguard intended, as we have told you, to ensure that the structural integrity of Nigeria's political landscape would not be unilaterally altered without a democratic process. However, the subsequent actions taken by the military rulers of Nigeria have raised significant questions regarding the adherence to this clause. In 1976, precisely, merely 6 years after the war's conclusion, General Murtala Mohammed and General Olusegun Obasanjo initiated a reconfiguration of Nigeria and its state structure, increasing the number of states from 12 to 19. And this trend continued. I mean, the trend of unilateral state creation continued unabated under the regimes of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida and General Sani Abacha, where the number of states eventually skyrocketed to 36 states or to 36. And this account was effectively captured by Chud Ofodile. Read his book and you will get more information about this. And of course, the video of General Effiong uh, making a pronouncement during the uh, surrendering of the Biafran forces at the time is everywhere on the internet. It encapsulates it. So this is a history that our people must not shy away from. And this is something that the Nigerian state has been trying to make sure that the subsequent Biafran generation do not have access to. But for us here, we must have to keep hope alive. And that is why our children, the generations that are coming after us, has or have rights to know what happened. This historical injustice is at the root of agitation for self-determination today. And we are justified on what we are doing. The decision to change Nigeria's administrative and political structures without the consultation or obtaining the permission of the Nigerian people as encapsulated during the occasion of the surrender of the Biafran armed forces is a clear departure from the principles and terms that was outlined during that 1970 instrument of surrender or surrender instrument as worded by the Biafra's Chief Justice at the time. These activities have consequences for the integrity of the agreements made at the conclusion of conflict, and with particular reference to Nigeria, because none has been kept. No good faith existed, and it is still the same today. And this is against the tenets and principles of democratic governance and representation. The expansion of states, although potentially intended to enhance administrative efficiency and local administration, was carried out without the explicit approval of the Nigerian population as required by this instrument of surrender. And it was also carried out in bad faith, specifically to continue to dehumanize, to continue to uh, subjugate the Igbo Biafrans to perpetual humiliation. As you can see, the creation of states did not favor our people. Nigeria was founded on tripod. After the Hausas, not even after the Hausas, you have the Igbos, you have the Yorubas, you have the Hausas or the Hausa Fulanese as the largest ethnic group at the time. And so today you can see the deliberate and devilish state-sponsored policy of apartheid to bring the once vibrant and feared and revered Igbo race to nothing. So we are not going to accept it. And it behoves on the political representatives of the Southeast to stand up and do the needful. And that is why we are at the vanguard of resurrecting these issues, that justice be done. So this deviation from the negotiated terms of the Biafran surrender raises significant inquiries, of which we are on at the moment, regarding the integrity of those peace agreements and the procedures of constitutional modification in post-conflict environment like Nigeria. And this highlights the need of following the conditions stated in surrender agreements, which was not followed in this case. The Nigerian experience serves as a vivid reminder of the difficulties involved in reconciling issues like this, issues of cessation of hostilities. But of course, we recognize that Nigeria being what it is, the effort was deliberately made to undermine the once vibrant and resilient Igbo race, as we can see today. And it undermines and brings to naught the revered values of democracy and constitutionalism. So to summarize this, the fact that consecutive Nigerian governments have violated the terms of the Biafran surrender document brings attention to a significant problem in state governance and administrative development in Nigeria. The injustice, the oppression, the discriminatory policies of the Nigerian state against the Igbo Biafrans, against the Southeast, is unimaginable and unacceptable. And that is why every right-thinking activist who cares for social justice, who cares for issues of human rights, must focus on this. The Igbo Biafra nationalist movement and the indigenous people of Igbo nation for self-determination are at the forefront of galvanizing interests across the length and breadth of the Igbo political environment or climate or landscape, that elected representatives take responsibility and do the needful or get out of the way at the end of the day. So the focus is on promoting transparency, inclusivity, and respect to democratic values in the process of revising the constitution in Nigeria, constitutional reforms, reversing of this obnoxious, entrenched state policy of apartheid against the Igbo race. In Nigeria's continuous exploitation and exploration of its intricate political terrain, the insights gained from this period are of utmost importance in guaranteeing that our people hold their own and continue to nudge forward and make it's a cardinal objective to continue to agitate, to continue to push for the total emancipation and self-determination of an Igbo nation state, or the Southeast as the case may be, or Igbo land, or Ala Igbo in this instance. And so, having said this, we remain committed, we remain focused. We, of course, want the Igbo political class, from the state House of Assembly members, as we have stated before, to the governors, to collaborate and institute legal action against the Nigerian state on this cabination, restriction, or restricting of the Southeast to only 5 states, whereby other regions or zones have 6 and 7 states, as the case may be. Therein lies the genesis, the crux of the present spate and entrenched policy of marginalization, cabination, and operation of the Southeast zone or region. Because from this less number of states emanates issue of revenue allocation. When you have less number of states, it means you are shortchanged in the number of local governments, in the number of constituencies, a number of House of Rep members, a number of senators. It goes on and on to affecting issues of representation at the center. It means that if this obnoxious policy of marginalization, of oppression, of injustice, of discrimination are allowed to continue, it translates to the Southeasterners being second class, if not fifth class citizens, I should say, in Nigeria. It means that the Southeasterners are just subhumans to their fellow citizens in Nigeria. It means that they are only being used to make up numbers. And this also lies at the heart of the principle of equal rights. Nigeria has never applied the principle of equal rights. Rather, it has essentially targeted a particular section of the population for total decimation, for total dehumanization. And the Southeast is receiving the brunt directly. And so, for us on this platform, Igbo Biafra nationalist movement and the indigenous people of Igbo nation for self-determination, Nigeria cannot continue to deceptively lash on or lay claim to the principle of territorial integrity and continue to tell us that Nigeria's territorial integrity is inviolable. And Nigeria will continue to be united, where you are essentially, deliberately enslaving a particular part of the population, in this case, the Southeast. And this is a perpetual enslavement, permanent minority status, permanent demotion of a particular group of people. And our people are keeping quiet. And we are saying, no, it will not continue to happen. That should be the crux and the focus of the agitation. If anybody who calls him or herself or themselves agitators or activists for self-determination of the Igbo nation are serious. And that is where we end it today. My name is Ucheme Fo, and I reach you from London. Thank you.